So I have made it to my hotel in Pueblo, Colorado. Um, on the way here, I stopped and got some fast food. I do want to I do want to mention that my eating habits on this trip have been horrible, absolutely horrible. Um, I only had two sit-down meals, like two restaurant meals this entire trip so far. Um, it was either fast food and while I was driving, or it was no food or junk food. My meals have been pretty bad. The first day that I went to Yellowstone, the only thing I had for the entire day was a breakfast sandwich from the gas station, which is not my normal routine for food and traveling. But I just really, first of all, I wasn't terribly hungry, but also going to a restaurant and sitting down and eating takes time. At least, roughly an hour by the time you get there, order, wait for the food, eat, and everything. You're looking at an hour versus I can run through a drive-through, get some food, and eat while I'm driving. So it was a sacrifice that I chose to make on this trip, was to not indulge on, my normal eating habits. I guess the one good thing is I saved money by not buying that much food, and what I did buy was fairly cheap. But that was really the only stop that I made before getting here. I will say that between the Great Sand Dunes, I think that's what it's called, Great Sand Dunes National Park, and Pueblo, Colorado, there were patches as you're driving where it was very windy, very, very windy. And you would have to go under the speed limit because your vehicle's being pushed by the wind. And I was driving a car. I wasn't driving an SUV or RV or anything like that. But yes, I am here at the hotel. This is my last night, and so right now it is 9:55 p.m. I'm probably gonna sleep in tomorrow because I have not slept in all this week. Checkout is at 11, so I can't sleep in like really late, but sleep in a lot more than I have every day of this trip. I do have to figure out my packing situation. Last night, I took all of the shirts that I bought on this trip as souvenirs and put them in with all of my other shirts that I brought to try and fill out my luggage, because yes, I brought a lot of clothes, but I did not fill up my luggage. I had a good amount of room because I knew I would be getting souvenirs. So I put my shirts in my luggage and they fit. I put some of the mini Lego sets in my luggage and it fit. And I think I do have a little bit more room to add a few more things, but I still have a lot of souvenirs, and I've got to figure out a place to put them because I have one checked bag, I have my backpack, which is my carry-on, and I'm allowed a personal item, but my personal item is huge right now because of all these souvenirs. Now, I do have a little bit of room in my backpack, so I can put things in there that I, like maybe the ornaments or the shot glasses, something like that. I will use every available space of my luggage and my backpack to try and hold everything as much as I can, and that way my personal item will be a lot smaller. I do have to take into consideration that some of the things are breakable, like the shot glasses and the ornaments, and I have to also consider the weight. Now, my luggage, which is a huge piece of luggage, when I weighed it before the trip, it was 45 pounds, and 50 pounds is the limit without having to pay an extra charge. I don't think the shirts and the little mini Lego sets are gonna be 5 pounds, but I also don't want to push it. They can weigh my backpack, but I think it's one of those things, as long as you're not like struggling and making it obvious what the weight is, I think you're good. And I'm used to carrying that backpack, which is 25 pounds, like stuffed. So hopefully I can get everything Tetrised and fit in there in a way to where because my only other option is, well, I have two options. I can either check I can basically check my backpack, pay for that, and then use my souvenir bag as my carry-on. I don't want to do that because in my backpack I have medication, I have all of my filming equipment. The backpack is worth a lot, not just monetarily, but also there's things in there that I would be devastated if I lost. The other option is before I get to the airport, I can find a FedEx center and purchase a box from them and ship everything to my home, which I'd have to pay for. Either way, I'm gonna have to pay if I can't get all this to work. I either have to pay to check my bag, which I definitely don't want to do, or I have to pay for FedEx and ship everything to my home. So I'm going to try and cram everything in here in every little nook and cranny and hope that it fits, even if I have to take stuff from my backpack and put it in my luggage or vice versa, whatever. So that's going to take a little bit of time. I'll play around with it tonight, and then of course I'll, get it fixed tomorrow and have a game plan. As far as tomorrow goes, I looked on the map, and from Pueblo, Colorado to the Denver airport is like 2 hours. I think it was like an hour and I can't remember, like an hour and a half, something like that. Anyways, it's under 2 hours. And my flight is at 7:40 p.m. And boarding is usually 40 minutes early. They start the boarding 40 minutes early. So boarding, essentially I'm going to say my flight is at 7. I like to get to the airport 2 hours early because you never know what security is like. Now, I usually get to the airport 2 hours early for morning flights. Afternoon and evening flights are even worse. So I am probably going to need to get to the airport no later than 4:30 for peace of mind. However, I also have to drop off the rental car, get all that squared away, then wait on the shuttle from the rental car place to get to the airport, and then have to go through the airport and all of that stuff. So I'm thinking if I can get over to the, car rental place around, to be on the safe side, I'm going to say 2. Get there by 2, which means I need to leave the hotel around noon. So if I sleep in a little, have myself a meal, like maybe the final sit-down meal, and then just go ahead and head to the airport. And if I get to the airport super early, where I've got way too much time to kill, it's not that big of a deal because I haven't even been able to work on my cross stitch with the last 4 states. So I have something to do at the airport. But yeah, that will pretty much be my day tomorrow. If anything changes or whatever, again, I have to get up in enough time to make sure that I don't have to find a FedEx and drive to it as well. But yeah, tomorrow will be a long day of flying and traveling and whatnot, but this trip has been really good. Honestly, this is one of my favorite trips that I have taken. It's a trip of a lifetime. I will do I'll do a couple of videos. I'll do a video to do a walkthrough of this hotel. And then I will do a video that recaps this trip as a whole and kind of talks about things to come. If you want to know when those videos come out, then subscribe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, maybe it's about the Mesa Verde National Park or the Great Sand Dunes National Park, or if you have any questions about how to Tetris all your souvenirs into your luggage, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will get to them as soon as I can. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video where it's the last day of the trip. But until then, bye.